And now it's time for the Top 5, sponsored by the Fort Worth Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. Time now for the Top 5. And yes, the high school football playoffs are underway, but everyone on Friday night had their sights set on Jerry World and the debacle that was the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. So in honor of those kinds of high-profile matchups, we're looking at the top 5 most interesting exhibition matches of all time. And we'll start in the ring here with number 5, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, MMA versus traditional boxing. Unlike Tyson and Paul, these two at least brought energy to the match, and Floyd was uncharacteristically aggressive, which we could have used a lot more of the other night. McGregor fighting outside of his comfort zone, hang tough for 10 rounds before a TKO. Mac, we'll start with you. Did you get what you wanted out of this match specifically?
Yeah, I did. I watched that one, and I was impressed because McGregor, you could tell McGregor was trying, and he pushed Mayweather to fight. Even if Floyd probably carried him the last couple of rounds, that was a gimmick event that I thought, that's not bad. So if somebody paid X amount of dollars for that one, and I can't remember what I paid, I thought, yeah, that one's not half bad. For a clown show, that one's okay.
At number 4, we head to the golf course, and I know Joe's already saying it should have been number 1 already. The match, Tiger versus Phil, which started as a relatively lighthearted, made-for-TV event, turned into a hyper-competitive match on the back 9, and it went 22 holes before Phil finally prevailed. Now it's an annual thing with different participants. Mike, what do you think about this one?
This was the original. This one was fun. Some of the things that have spawned out of it afterward have been pretty hokey, but that one was a lot of fun. And it was just something that if you were a golf fan, you were itching for that kind of drama between those two. And we didn't see a whole lot of it organically present itself on the course in a major or in big-time events. So we kind of had to manufacture it, but even though it was manufactured, it was fun.
I think the reason why this one isn't higher up on the list is because people had trouble watching it, which is another thing that still has not changed over about 5 or 6 years that we've been doing these live streams. All right, on to number 3. This one's a little more recent. Steph versus Sabrina in the NBA three-point contest. Started as a curiosity, but it absolutely lived up to the hype. Sabrina moved back to the NBA line and shot the best of any competitor in the actual event before Steph came in and edged her just a tad. Pressure was on, a modern-day battle of sexes, and both delivered. Mac, what'd you think here?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was the best part of the All-Star weekend. Yeah. I stayed with that telecast until I got to see that, and that was the best one. That's the best one. I'm sure. I know you've got other two, but that's the best one. I hope they do it again with Paige Bookers or anybody else. Certainly Caitlin Clark. That thing was awesome. Bring it back. In fact, they should just make it guys versus girls, because I would watch that.
Absolutely. All right, at number 2, we head to the tennis courts for the Battle of the Surfaces. When there was a real debate between Federer and Nadal as the best in the world, they set up an exhibition match in 2007, Nadal on clay on one side of the court and Federer on grass on the other. Again, an oddity turned into a spectacle, both players adjusting to their specialties, and Nadal took this one in 2-1 sets after a lengthy tiebreaker in the final set. Mike, your thoughts here?
I don't remember it. I'm kind of intrigued to go find it because that does sound cool. I was a freshman in college. Apparently, I was doing other things. I do not remember this one. I'll have to go look it up.
Nadal famously said before the match he thought the whole thing was going to be a disaster because literally they were having trouble growing the grass on the other side of the court. And yet, again, because both of these guys are the best that's ever played, aside from obviously Djokovic, it turned into something much bigger than that. So I think on some level, the curiosity of something as wild as clay versus grass turning into a good match, that's the reason why I put it number 2. And at number 1, I alluded to it earlier, it's the Battle of the Sexes, one of the most meaningful matches in world history. Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs. King won the match in straight sets. This is technically a second match of the Battle of the Sexes. Riggs won the first one, but King kind of set the record straight. She hit outright winners on 68% of her shots. A landmark moment. Mac, what'd you think?
Certainly from a civil rights and a gender advancement perspective, it did everything. It exceeded any expectation, for sure. But Bobby Riggs was an old guy. He wasn't a very great pro. And he was playing the best player in the world, and he got his butt kicked. And he was doing it for a bag of cash, which he got. But in terms of like a great competition, no. But in terms of legitimizing women as great players in sports, 100%.
It was an iconic moment that you and I were both born 20 some odd years after it, and everybody knows about that moment. It was a huge,
Thanks,
iconic
Mike.
moment in sports. You're welcome, Mac.
Appreciate that. I was waiting for that. I like how you asked me that. Thanks a lot. You want to ask about Babe Ruth or the Civil War?
Matt Gangle, what was it like? Never mind. Matt Gangle, thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so much for
being
joining
here.
us. You were great, Mac. We always appreciate it. Stay with us. Mike's Final Take's up next.